Morning, beautiful. It's great to see you. It's lovely to be here. I got to show you the sky because it's glorious. Look at that. Yes, I know we are accompanied by the aeroplane. There it is, coming into screen. The airport's off to the left. But look at this. It's just this pattern that covers the sky. Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. There's North. It's probably going to Auckland or somewhere up there. Hi Glenn, hi Nora. And there's the sun coming up over the sun's up, but it comes up over the hill. And there's the sky. It's just beautiful today. Good morning, there's Rain. You can see your little face up there. And there we are, back to this huge sky again. This is directly above us now. There it is. Heidi, good morning. It's beautiful. But I better show you the garden because there's lots happening in the garden. There's the circle with its mostly white narcissus and little splots of yellow which sort of liven it up. It's just too hard to separate them, and then I decided one day I'm just going to stop trying. So there it is. And we have more bulbs. And the wonderful thing is that because my husband's going to look after the neighbour's dog in the near future, the lawn's got mowed, which is brilliant. Good morning, Alicia. This is a little poster shot, really, showing some early cheer and some campanula and this beautiful cassia plant. So I just love the shape of it and the leaves. And you can see the new ones coming. See the bright green sprouting out of the older foliage, which will fall off eventually. I just love how this plant grows. And there's more campanula in the crib wall, and there's a native fern, and there's cinerarias which are going to flower. And it's all happening. So, nothing missing. The lemons are starting to go yellow, but they won't be ripe for a while on the lemon tree. So there it all is. And this is the piece I have to show you. So there's another poster shot, right? And this great row of narcissus, which is all flowering, and the magnolias coming out. And you can hear the blackbirds, and just Monday morning in Newlands, New Zealand. And there are the flowers. Oh, look. You can see sort of why it's called a magnolia stellata, or a star magnolia, because the flowers are star-shaped. So there you go. And the snowdrops, beg your pardon, still coming out on force. They flower for a long time. And then we have just more and more jonquils. It's fabulous. Good morning, Jen. Great to see you. They're just so abundant. And there it all is. It is not spring. This is spring. It's not spring. It's the middle of winter. July is winter. Oh, I can smell the blooms. But it's very pretty here, so I'm going to enjoy it, even though it is unseasonal. Here we go. More jonquils. They're just beautiful. And you can see it's pretty still today. There's almost no breeze at all. And let me show you the soldiers and sailors, because that's starting to really come out. Look at the foliage. It's beautiful. And the native cotula. And still got some paper white here. I'm going to move this big clump of paper white. It doesn't really do well, and I've got a place for it now. And there they all are. I mean, it's really a lot of blossom. So that's the garden. And today I want to talk about starting a new life, because I remember on Friday we were talking about long and painful endings and things that don't end, and a personality and a self and a reality and a way of being that just, it's like it defines you, right? Trauma defines you, the experience defines you, and you have a deep betrayal or something awful that happens, and it brands you neurologically, chemically, emotionally. It brands you, and the brain says, oh, we've got to protect ourselves against having this happen again. And so you do, but then you lock a whole lot of stuff out of your life, and eventually you realise this and you want to do something else, but you are so accustomed to being who you've been that you can barely realise how it is that you've been who you're being. And, I mean, that's the first thing. You've got to start paying attention and realise who you've been being without noticing it. But then you got to think, well, oh God, how do I do something else? Because you're so accustomed to doing and being the way you've been doing and being all this time. And so I was thinking, well, what would I say? How would I tackle this? And I mean, I have done this myself. It's just that it's not so in my face as it used to be, because I really have changed. I really have changed these very entrenched, deep ruts in my personality, which was about lack and this can't happen and I can't do it and, all of that. So it's wonderful not to be there. But it's interesting not being there when I want to speak about being there, because I have to put myself back in my old shoes and think, well, what would I have said? And the thing is, of course, back then, I couldn't say what I'd say now, because I didn't know what I know now. And what I know now is that if everything I know, everything that's familiar to me, everything I'm used to doing and being and feeling and, all of that, which I've done and been, and I'm so convinced about it, and it's been so true, and it's been so real, and it's been so impossible for so long, and I've got all this proof inside my head about why nothing can ever change, and that was exactly how I used to feel. That's what feels normal and usual and expected and okay to me. Even though it's painful and I don't like it, it feels familiar and I know it, and I know how to do and be that, and it doesn't bother me to do and be that, in that it may be painful, but it's familiar and I know how to do it. I know what to do. I know who I am. Everybody around me knows what to expect of me, and I know what to expect of me. The problem with that is I don't want to be that self anymore. Technique Trance, it's great to see you. So how do I make that change? And what I know now, and now I'm quoting my inspiration because these are his words, the hardest thing about change is not making the same choice that we've made the day before. Hardest thing about change is not making the same choice that you made before. What the hell does that mean? I used to listen to Joe Dispenza say this and think, what? What do you mean? I mean, just make a different choice. What? It was like, yeah, this makes it was something that made sense to my head and made absolutely no sense to my heart. And what I now understand is that if I'm used to feeling lack and frustration, which I no longer am, but let's say I am. Let's say I've been doing that for so long. Hi, Julian! I have to somehow find a way to think and feel differently from how I'm used to thinking and feeling. And that is the choice that I have to do differently. It's not about my actions. My actions follow my feelings and my thoughts. And it's not easy because we are just so used to who we're being. So to notice of myself, or for you to notice of yourself, whatever it is, right, I am really used to feeling frustrated. I'm really used to feeling fear. That's all I know. I'm really used to feeling betrayed and like I can't trust people. Because that was a big thing that we were sort of all, some of us were just sharing that. Like, yeah, I've been really betrayed. And I mean 20, 30 years ago, and I still just can't trust people. So that's a very familiar state of being. You're really accustomed to doing and being and feeling that. And, How do you feel something else when it's like, well, I got hurt and it was bad and I can't trust anymore, right? How do you do that? So what you got to realise, and this is kind of like saying the same thing, it's not going to feel good or right or normal for you to trust people, because you spent 20, 30, however many years not trusting them. It is not going to feel good. It's not going to make sense to you to think thoughts about, the world is a beautiful place, life supports me, and to start to generate feelings that go with those thoughts. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel sensible. It's not going to make sense. The feelings that you have to practice generating to start to have that experience of, I can trust life. The world is a wonderful place. Everything works out for me. Those thoughts and feelings are not going to feel good. They're not going to feel normal. Why? Because you are used to thinking and feeling something else, and your body is used to giving you the feeling of how that feels. It just is normal for you to feel that way. And so to feel something else is going to feel wrong. And you're going to say, as you said in the last however long, but I got hurt and I can't trust people. That's not quite true. You got hurt, you got the experience branded you emotionally in your brain and your body, and you believe that means that you got to approach the world through that pain now, and you allow the pain and the experience to define you because you didn't realise that revisiting that pain out of a need to survive and a need to protect yourself reinforces it and makes it ingrained and makes it who you think you are now. And so, I had this experience and I can't move on from it. I'm there now and I can't trust, and that's the end of it. Because if I do, I feel all this pain. And that's just not. That's not true, but it feels really true. And so it feels really, really hard to make a choice that counters this very powerful feeling that you have inside yourself that says, no, the world is a painful place, people are out to get me, the universe is out to get me, the moment I stop watching for that next person that's going to hurt me, that something bad is going to happen. That's what you're used to doing. To make a choice that isn't like that, that's the hardest thing. Because we wait to feel like it's going to feel okay. We wait to feel good. And that's actually just not the thing. That's not the thing. It's not going to feel natural or normal because you're so used to doing the other thing. Kaya, good morning, gorgeous. Ta-da! Ta-da, Technitrance. It's not going to feel good to start with because you're just not used to it. Your brain and your body are not used to feeling like that. And they say, no, it's not safe to do this. No. Those thoughts are stupid. Those thoughts do not make sense. And the feelings you're trying to feel are setting you up to get hurt again. And just no. And that is why it's really hard to choose to have a different experience. It's really, really hard to choose to have a different experience. And that's why many people decide to continue to be defined by their trauma. And it's not a criticism. Oh my God, I don't know what people have gone through. I don't know what you've gone through. Some of you that I do know, you've gone through amazingly challenging experiences, things I can't imagine. But the point is, we are the ones that have the power to choose, to dare really, to feel something else, to be willing to have a different feeling, even though it feels like a risk to have a different feeling. And the important thing is also that if you're going to stretch your boundaries, that you find ways to push against or push through or move through or create through your old persona, your old way of being, but you do it in a way that's safe. You do it in a way that's kind to you. You know, if you got betrayed 30 years ago and you're wanting to open your heart again for the first time, you don't want to, I don't know, jump into the first romantic relationship opportunity that comes to you and say, oh, I'm going to open my heart. That person, if you're just looking at it on a quantum physics matching resonance thing, given where you're at, that you're just exploring, wanting to become someone who can open their heart again. Hi, Tanya. That's just, they're likely to not be in the resonance that you need them to be for that to be safe. So that's kind of like jumping off a cliff without a parachute. But with the same possibility, you might say, I'm willing to have a conversation with them rather than say, oh, no, I'm not even going to, It's like I'm willing to explore, but I'm not willing to open my heart wide. Where before, you might not have been willing to explore at all. So we've got to find a step-by-step incremental approach that we can use to move into the new self that we want to be without, making our heads explode. Really important. Really important. So it's this gentle choice, gentle but very powerful. There's very determination required for this. To choose to become somebody else and realise that if you want to feel a different feeling, you can't wait for circumstances outside you to give you a reason to feel that, because remember, you are generating your circumstances with your current feelings. So then you have to generate different feelings and also different thoughts, and none of them are going to feel natural to you. They will after a while when you practice them. Yeah, and not wearing your heart on your sleeves is a good idea depending on who you're around, There are people where it's completely safe to just throw your heart open and share your heart and share your life, and they'll be with you without dumping shit on you or telling you how to be or giving you advice that you don't want. And there are a lot of people who can't do that. Why? Because their hearts are closed. So people are always going to meet you from themselves. They may do their very best to, be what they think you want them to be, but it's always from inside their own heads. So to incrementally and gently, step by step, choose who we want to be. Oh, good for you, Shuffy. We do. I mean, it's wonderful when you know that you're embodying who you want to be. And when you're not, because that's going to happen too, to notice that and realise, okay, I fell off the horse again. But if you're completely not used to riding the horse, well, first of all, you might need to get some riding boots. And you might need to go to a place where there are horses, and you might need somebody to help you learn how to ride the horse. So, there's different parts of the continuum of transformation where if you have got no idea how to start embodying who you want to be, and it's fabulous that you do, Shuffy. And I know what this is like, because, I started at this end of the continuum. I'm a little bit further along now. I'm constantly moving more into embodying who I desire to be. But to start with, I had no idea. I had no idea about horses or saddles or riding boots or jodhpurs or a crash cab or anything. I didn't know. I had no idea. And it felt really wrong to even start trying to think abundant thoughts or, to try and feel a happy feeling for no reason, right? We look for the reason outside of ourselves to change the way we feel inside ourselves, but that doesn't work because we generate our circumstances. And if you've been generating your circumstances the same way they've been for however long you've been doing it, well, you're going to keep on doing that unless you change how you think and feel. But it's got to change ahead of the environment. And that's why the hardest thing about change is not making the same choice you made the day before. And it's this balancing act. to push myself. I don't like that word push. To move, to choose, to expand myself to, whatever word you like. A little bit more into the space and the embodiment, great word, Shafi, of who I choose to be. Knowing that, it's like I've got to remember all the stuff that I've got about who I was and who I can be. But I got to do it in a way that I can handle. I can't split myself open and, go for broke and sort of, do it or die. But if I can't do it, then I will die. And I don't want to do that because I already died. I already hurt enough. I don't want to hurt myself in the process of trying to heal myself, So it is this teasing it out for yourself, thinking, okay, I know this is going to feel wrong, so if I'm okay with the fact that it's going to feel wrong, I've got to get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable, then I can practice being uncomfortable in a way that I can tolerate. And really, maybe that sentence is what I've been trying to get to. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but make it tolerable to expand into who you want to be. So you're at the edge of your comfort zone. You're pushing your edges. You're stretching just a bit beyond where you're easy, but not so far that you snap like a rubber band that's gone too far. We don't need a break, but you want to grow. And that's the fine edge. If you've been somewhere for 30, 40 years and you don't know how to be someone else, that is what I wanted to say, really. Find something that you want to be, but it feels really uncomfortable, and wind it back until it's still uncomfortable, but you think you can actually emotionally and intellectually embrace it. And be that for a bit until it gets easier. And then do it again. That's it in a nutshell. Making your choice. Get your mind and your heart aligned. Speaking the same language, being you, thinking and feeling, and then you will behave as that new person. Pretty sure I'm out of time. Perfectly, I'm out of time. So good to be with you, beautiful beings. Big love. I'm actually going to jump on live in about 3.5 hours, simply because I need to do another live because I'm moving. I have to move my YouTube channel. So for anybody who follows me on YouTube, there's going to be click this link and go and subscribe to me in this new place. So I'm just letting you know. I'll be posting it all over because it's really inconvenient having to move my YouTube channel, but I do because I got to get rid of the old email address. Long story. I'll tell you at lunchtime, so I'll see you then. Big love. Remember who you're choosing to be. Just a little bit. And it's okay if it's uncomfortable. Bye-bye.